Shattering Glass, Chapter 18. I hate it when people make me out to be some kind of hero. The others did something wrong. There was a time they could have said no and they didn't. But I did the same thing. I knew when I handed that ID back to Glass that it was wrong. But he gave me something I wanted, needed. Young handed his life over to Rob the same way. I've learned a lot. Finally gotten smart in my old age or something. Young and I both made Rob into a substitute father. We couldn't deal with the ones we were given, and Rob made us feel like successful sons. Sons a father is proud of. Who wouldn't do most anything for that? Young just did more than I did. Jeff Cooper. We arrived at the Yellow Rose, home of the only Texas-sized burger in the state. 3/4 of a pound of ground beef, chock full of carcinogens and cholesterol. Heaven on a sesame seed bun. Coop ate one. Coop, I said, this diet of yours is going to put grocery stores, farmers, and ranchers out of business. Don't worry, Simon is taking up the slack. He pointed to Glass, who sat with 2 burgers, fries, onion rings, and a thick strawberry shake. It's Christmas. I'll get back on my diet after the holidays. We'll have to go shopping again if you don't, or maybe my dad will loan you some of his clothes. Coop wasn't smiling. Shoving his half-eaten burger aside, he wiped his mouth, balled up his napkin, and tossed it at Glass. Sorry, guys. I'm worried about the ACT scores. My whole future is sort of hanging out in the breeze, you know? I have just the thing to cheer you up. Simon scraped his chair back and hurried out of the restaurant. What's he up to? I asked. Who knows? Coop mumbled. Glass is getting as bad as Rob about keeping secrets. Coop shredded a couple of napkins. What'll I do if I don't get an 18 on the ACT, Young? Simon bounced in carrying 2 wrapped presents. Here, guys. Just call me Santa Simon. There was a trace of the old Simon, nervous and bumbling. But as he handed us the presents, he seemed to grow more confident. Coop's package was square, the size of a box of kitchen matches, and wrapped in shiny foil. He shook it. Shucks, Glass, I was hoping for a car. Open it, Simon encouraged him. Coop stripped the paper off and looked at the small box, befuddled. Terrific, Glass. A Waterford crystal napkin ring. Just what I always wanted. That's just a box I used. Open it. He lifted the lid and pulled away a square of cotton. His face wrinkled in puzzlement once more as he picked up a laminated card. What are you giving me your driver's license? Why are you giving me your driver's license? Look at it again, Coop. Coop looked again. This is nuts. This is your picture. But it's got my name and my license number. I don't get it. On January 18th at 8 a.m., I will enter the auditorium at Alvin Community College. I'll present this card and this voucher to the proctor and take an ACT test. Simon handed a computer card to Coop. This has my name on it. Yes, indeed, it do. Glass was practically bouncing in his chair. Coop shook his head, still confused. I explained. If I read this right, Simon has signed up for the ACT in your name, and he has somehow gotten a false ID, so he can enter the testing station as Jeff Cooper. He's going to take the test for you. Coop looked like a stunned carp. For real? Did you do all this, Glass? For me? Well, I expect tickets to all the home games. Jesus, Simon, it's just, I took the license from Coop. Just totally illegal, I said. Nobody said a word. Oh, Coop exhaled. I didn't think of that. Simon leaned forward across the table until he was 3 inches from my face. Don't do this to him, Young. You weren't concerned with legality when I changed your schedule. I clenched my back teeth until my temples throbbed. I glanced at Coop, who was the picture of despondency. Hey, big guy. Don't look like your dog died. I just meant you have to keep this ultra quiet. Nobody else can know. Coop appeared uncertain. What if we get caught? No way, Simon said. The license has my picture. So to the Alvin Proctor, I'm Jeff Cooper. Simon leaned back. Rob said that. Rob? I asked. Is this Rob's idea? Sure, Simon said. He even told me where I could get the fake ID. How does Rob know where to get false ID? I tapped the license and thought that a guy who could change his name might know exactly where to get a fake ID. This looks like the real deal. It should. It cost me $75. Glass. Coop turned and faced Simon, shutting me out of the loop. This is a big deal, man. Not just the money. It could get you in lots of trouble. If this wasn't so important, I'd never let you do it. But he stopped, and his eyes filled with tears. But it might just be all that's between me and being a gas jockey. So thanks, Simon. You're a real friend. Glass pushed a package across the table to me. The paper snagged on the rough boards of the table. You shouldn't have, Glass, I said. I didn't get you anything. Coop looked mystified. Open it, young. I tugged at the ribbon and the bow unraveled. I picked up the tape and folded the paper back, revealing a leather-bound book, its pages softly ragged. Classy. I turned the volume over. The right front corner was embossed with the words, Young Stewart. The pages were blank. Thick, creamy parchment waiting for words. My words. I know all writers keep journals. I thought you might want this. Or even better, use it for your first novel. Glass had tapped into me, and I didn't like him owning a map of my head.